Hangout. We are starting the Hangout. In fact, ladies and gentlemen, we are live. And would you believe, I'll just check with YouTube just very quickly that we've gone live. It's spinning around. And yes, and this week we can see everybody. This is fantastic. We can see Bill, we can see Claudia, we can see Paul, all happy, smiling faces. So welcome one and all to Swiss Gold Global. Hey, folks, this is number 40 for us. Number 40 Hangout. This is unbelievable that we've been doing so many of these Monday night Hangouts purely to keep our members up to date with what's going on in the world of Swiss Gold Global, building generational wealth. So we've been doing that for a long, long time now. Seems like years. It's just clicked over a year for me in the business. 1 year and, hang on, 1 year and what's today? The 28th. 1 year and 3 days for me. And boy, oh boy, I've learned a lot. I've earned a lot, and I've yet to carry on earning, but I'm learning and earning at the same time as I carry on into year number 2. So all very, very exciting for me and the rest of the panel, because we've got our owner, our number 1 affiliate, Presidential Ambassador Claudia, and Paul, who's in my team, who's only about a few weeks behind me. So it'll be your first year coming up. Now, Bill's got to go to a meeting, so we're going to quickly say hello to Claudia, Paul, and then hand over to Bill to give us a bit of an update. So, Claudia, good morning to you. Whereabouts are you, and how are you?
Morning, Kitty. I'm good, thank you. I'm in Germany right now.
Okay, and you're in your summertime, so you're a very happy person, and things are going well?
Very well, thank you. We had a great week.
Okay, awesome. Okay, fantastic. Now, Paul, down on the Gold Coast there. Love your sign behind there, mate. It's a very, very good sign. We'll be using that on Wednesday because we've got another a weekly hangout. We're doing weekly ones now, yeah?
We are indeed. Yes, a quality hotel in Mermaid Waters on the Gold Coast. So anybody that's around, hop on down and the sign will be there, yes. And we're coming into winter, nearly the 1st of... 1st of June will be coming on. So we'll be down to about 25 degrees on Wednesday. Yeah.
It's shocking, mate, isn't it?
It's sad. And now I think it's also the shortest day of the year coming up as well. So that'll be a plus. Get that out of the way.
Yeah, okay. And then back to normal Queensland weather, which is glorious. Now, we've got the coffee hangout 10:30 a.m. on Wednesday, then 7:30 p.m. Here in Brisbane. I'll come back up and I'm doing a coffee hangout a Wednesday night. So if anyone's watching and they've got friends in Brisbane, they can come along every Wednesday night at 7:30. I'm doing that for a number of weeks. And every Wednesday morning with Paul and myself, I can get down there on the Gold Coast. So that'll take in upper north, New South Wales, or the environment around Gold Coast. Every Wednesday morning at 10:30 a.m., we're having a Swiss Gold Global catch-up, Bitcoin mining catch-up, coffee catch-up, morning and night. So we're covering all bases here in Queensland. So good on you, Paul. Thanks very much.
A pleasure.
And now we're going to throw to Bill, who's actually in Monaco. You've just been there for the Formula One and blockchain. And, you know, the blockchain's a fast-moving technology, and the Formula One's even quicker, mate, as far as speed. And you love speed, you love fast cars, as I know. So it's great to have you physically see you on the camera, mate, which is great. So just bring us up to speed, Bill, if you could, of business, how it's traveling. And I know you've got to go to a meeting, and then maybe what your plans are the next couple of months. I know you're coming to Australia. So over to you, mate.
Hey, good morning to you. Good morning to you, Keithy, Claudia, Paul, and of course everyone joining us from different parts of, primarily I'd say Australasia, maybe Europe as well. It's great to be back here. Yes, I'm actually in Monaco at the moment. I met some, I was just saying to you before we went live that I met some people at a blockchain event in Dubai, which was pretty exceptional. And it's a bit of a networking event. They invited me down here because they had different blockchain conferences here. They had some on a yacht. I didn't make it to that one. I mean, the blockchain technology is not really what we do in one respect, but certainly the networking side is really important. So I'm down here, I came down for the Monaco Grand Prix, my first time, and it's been very, very nice. In respect to updates, well, we're still moving forward. Probably the major updates now, I mean, people are asking regarding our ICO and different things. And as I've said to you and our groups multiple times, we're absolutely 100% committed to this, moving forward with it. But we don't want to, we're not going to be launching until we're regulated in this particular area. And we're doing that with regulators as we speak right now. We're getting our assets audited. Because last year there was something like $6 billion raised in ICOs and half of those failed. When we go live and of course people's money's coming in, we want to make sure that it's going to be sustainable and rewarding for members. We don't want them to lose their money. So we're pretty conscious about this. The whole idea about it is, of course, to be able to offer members a benefit. And even at these blockchain events, most of the talk at these events is probably 95% of ICOs that come to the market are pretty much nonsense. There's nothing much to them. So you've got to be cautious what you get involved in. And people looking at Swiss Gold Global and as all of you know, in the coming months, our name will evolve into a new name, which is going to be very, very exciting. You should do your due diligence towards us as well. Don't take my word for it. Look at us, ask questions, and that's the most important thing. So that's why it's important to have these calls from leaders such as Claudia and Katie and Paul are doing these hangouts and different calls each week, so you can get a bit of an update from us. Other than the ICO, what we're primarily working on right now, our engineers, I mean, our system, well, we've been around for 10 years. You know, our back-end system's a bit old. And as some of you know, sometimes there's some issues with it, with the sustainability when the load's getting heavy. So our primary focus right now is rebuilding the whole back end. That's happening as we speak. And we expect over the next 2 months that will be completed, so the whole back end will look different. It'll certainly feel different and have much more, will have improved functionality, but also different marketing applications as well to make your services easy to be able to share. And of course, with the ICO token concept that we'll be bringing to the table, in fact, there'll be a couple of tokens. It's going to be quite unique. So that'll take longer than 2 months to achieve that, but certainly the new back office, we're anticipating 8 weeks for that to be completed. So that's our primary focus now, to make sure that our whole back end is rebuilt, I should say, from the scratch, what we've learned over the last 5-10 years, to make it very, very efficient, make it very, very stable, to be able to sustain, huge future growth, which is certainly going to make your lives a lot easier as well. Because in the end, it's all about purpose and it's all about sustainability.
Yeah. Interestingly enough, yesterday, Bill, I was speaking to a guy who was a programmer in IT, and I was talking about the blockchain with him. And he said, I deal with some major hotel chains in the world. And he said, you'll be amazed that their systems are still archaic as far as how they run their business. They know about blockchain and they know about everything, but they haven't got involved yet. And he said there's one particular major hotel chain that still do their communications for the money and the accounting side via fax. They still use fax machines. And he said, I know about the blockchain, and I believe it has fundamentally is going to be fantastic for all the network and systems that I'm dealing with, the companies I'm dealing with. But at this stage, some of the companies aren't even up to speed with cloud services. So as you keep saying, we're in the really, really early stages of the blockchain acceptance. And that really came home to me yesterday when this guy said this major worldwide, they're a massive, massive hotel chain worldwide, still use faxes. He said the Japanese as well, they love fax machines and they still use the faxes. So as you keep saying, Bill, it's early adoption yet.
It is, and it's quite interesting when you book into hotels, as I do tend to book into a few, how the long process it takes. I mean, they're all about, we live in a digital world, but they're all about having printed out forms. And I suppose the fax is their confirmation in one sense. So, the great thing about the greater adoption of the blockchain and different technologies, it means it's going to be greater adoption for a specific cryptocurrency. Now, of course, the main one that we support and we're still selling mining for is, of course, Bitcoin. And the Bitcoin rewards, even though the price has pulled back a bit, the rewards that people are still getting compared to what the alternatives are is quite exceptional. is absolutely exceptional, even as we speak right today. And I mean, many of the experts out there believe there will be some believe it could pull back more, but then there'll be a breakout over the coming months. We don't know. Nothing is guaranteed. Nothing is set in stone regarding that. None of us have a crystal ball, but I certainly believe in the process. I believe in the overall concept of blockchain technology and cryptocurrency. And I know that Claudia, she watches and does a lot of research, a lot more probably research than what I actually do in this area. So maybe she wants to maybe touch on that as well.
Yeah, you're going to go in a second, Bill. Just got one question from Robbie on the chat. Why are you going to change the company name? What's the reason behind it? Regulation, or just wondering, because Swiss Gold Global sounds great to me. That was Robbie's question.
Yeah, it's a good question, Robbie. There's a number of reasons. I won't go into them right now, but one of the reasons is actually is regulatory as well. When you have, when I first started up the name Swiss Gold Global, I thought it was actually a fantastic name. But then through my naivety, I realized that banking, as soon as you put the word gold in there, it causes also some major issues. To be quite honest, I mean, not all. We're regulated for gold. But not all banks around the world, depending what country you're actually involved in, like that you actually deal with precious metals. And now that we've got cryptocurrency as well, we're not, it's not in one sense where everything that fiat currency is not, to be quite honest. So, and now we're no longer just a gold company. We're actually a cryptocurrency. We're, of course, affiliate marketing, multiple source income company with gold, silver, and cryptocurrency. The Swiss Gold Global concept, we believe with the launch of our new concept in months to come will be very, very exciting, and it will require a brand change, and it's certainly going to make international banking, cross-border banking is very, very complex. I spend a lot of my time dealing with the banks and the regulators because, and that's why we're so strict on KYC. That we don't let you buy products or services primarily until you're KYC approved, Robbie, because the banks, because we're dealing with gold and silver and crypto, they are really looking at us through a microscope. And as you might know, many of companies out there, many of them don't even have credit card facilities. Many of them don't even accept bank wires. They may accept Bitcoin, some of them, but we accept credit card, Bitcoin for gold and silver, which is quite unique. And of course, bank wires through our company that we have a company in Nigeria, which is actually registered at the Corporate Affairs and approved by the Corporate Affairs Commission in Nigeria with one of Africa's largest banks. So that's fantastic for that region. And we just got a contract which I've got to review, which means the local currency at the moment we transact in that part of the world, Nigeria, which is 200 million people. We use the currency Naira. I've sort of digressed here a bit now, but it's all sort of linked together. But we only accept US dollars now. So we're doing a deal currently with an FX company, foreign exchange company in Lagos, Nigeria, where we'll be able to set the local currency Naira and they'll exchange it to the US dollars, etc. And this is going to open the market up quite a bit there for that particular region because in this part of the world, it's still quite a strong cash economy. Then we have the Swiss company. Then, of course, we have the Dubai company of several banks there as well. But the name Swiss Gold Global change, I think it's going to be a good thing as long as we do it right and we market it right as well. But we've got to get it. We've got to get this next level of our development completed first.
Yeah, well, it's part of the involvement.
It's all about building the foundation nice and strong.
Yeah.
In a sustainable way, and then, as Claudia always says, have a good marketing company behind, which we've never actually marketed, to be quite honest, Swiss Gold Global. It's all been organic. But of course, you as affiliate marketers, you want to get more noise out there, etc. And we've been quite conservative because as a gold company, people don't like to make too much of a noise about them buying gold and silver. People are quite conservative in that sense. But now we're in the crypto world, and we realize that the market and the leaders want to have more social media activity out there. So to do that, we would need to really change the name because if you're marketing gold out there online and the banks look at it, it does cause some problems.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks for answering that question, Bill. It's
just so you know, I've got about another 5 minutes, so maybe you want to go. And in the meantime, if people want to ask any other questions, I'll wait here while you speak to Claudia or Paul, and then I can come back and answer some questions before I head off, Keithy.
Yep, sounds great. So you're watching, folks. So you got Bill for 5 minutes. Get on typing as quick as you can. We'll get Bill to answer a couple of questions. And name change is all part of it evolving as we grow into our 11th year, which is that's the exciting thing. So I'll throw to you, Claudia. Things are going well. Price is down a bit. The difficulty rate's up again, but people are still earning from our contracts, and the business is moving forward, and more people are joining. I just had 2 people join today.
Well, congratulations, Kitty. You're doing something right, obviously. Wonderful.
Yeah,
So in your 1 year with Swissco Global, you learned something. That's good.
Yeah, just 1 or 2 things, Claudia. Yeah.
No, things are very well here. So yeah, I mean, sure, prices are a little bit down, but then again, that's just a little bit. I mean, they go up again, as I always explain. And so I'm not really worried. We're working. Teams are moving. It's moving forward. I myself joined some people as well. So yeah, it's all good.
Okay, now just I'll jump back to Bill. We've got 1 question's come in. Are you adding Bitcoin Cash payout to the system? Genesis already started Bitcoin Cash on SHA 256. Syed was asking that one.
Hi, Syed. Good question. Yes, in fact, we'll be having a call of Genesis this week, and we'll be getting these things up to date. So we'll be adding some different mining or payouts to our back-end system. When? I exactly can't give you an exact date in that, but yes, whatever Genesis have, we'll be bringing to the table.
Okay, great. Cloudy, back to you. The training, I'm just going to do one of my own little training things on people when they're first signing up for the couple of new people that are asking me questions. Just the basic going through how to get the online form, how to then that gets emailed to you. Got to print that off, got to sign it. As Bill said, one of the most important thing is our KYC, know your customer regulations that we have. So we're dealing with real customers, not just multiple people signing different things. Is there any advancements on anything else you want to chat about regarding that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm working, as I said, I'm working on some things so that to give you like a faster training. So what we want to do is like probably on the when we do our webinars, but we also do have some fast start training there, which people can log in through webinar and can watch that. And I would like to have it, of course, incorporated in Swissco Global, but Bill and his IT team, they need to check if this is possible and we can do that. Yeah, I'm working on these things to, as I said, and I believe I will do a hangout this week. I'm just not sure because we have some couple of holidays in different places here, which would be the best day to do it. But I want to do it so that, yeah, so that basically people understand, because this is the biggest challenge once they do their KYC. That's the biggest hurdle they have, because very often they don't, or they say they don't receive the email, but then they don't look in spam, or then they're on their phones. And on their phones, sometimes there's not a submit button because it's not 100% compatible, the KYC process on their phones yet. And so then they get stuck basically, and then you need to bring them back. Then they go to a computer. And so since we have a lot of people joining in Africa now, because of obviously the movement as well in Nigeria, in Ghana, in these parts, and also in lots of parts of the Caribbean. Then, of course, that's a little bit challenges for those guys because they just work with the phones. And so we need to have more trainings for them so they get over that first step, that first hurdle, before they actually can then purchase a contract and then actually get started, really. So,
yeah, well, that's a very interesting point that some of the countries that are really pushing towards Bitcoin are only using their phones. That's the way they're trying to get their life changed. And running a business from a phone. It's the ultimate, really, of running a business on a piece of plastic and metal. So I guess being compatible. Now, you're at the other end of the scale, Paul, with your potential people that join. They're the older crowd. They've got phones, but they've got the old Nokias, haven't they, from the 1970s still? Or they they got laptops or desktops, or what have they got?
You'd be surprised. They're pretty well right up to speed these days. We do pretty good stuff here in Australia. The federal government allows them to go along to community centres, and they've got access to computers, and we sit down there and we can do all the good things that you can do on your smartphones plus the PCs.
All right. Well, that's very encouraging that there's an opportunity. So the opportunity's there. People just have to take it up. So what's your perception, just quickly, we've just got maybe one more question for the Bill before he goes in a minute. How many people percentage-wise know about Bitcoin now in May 2018, Paul, out of 100% that you meet?
Let's just take my local golf club, which has got like 600 members, and I play with about 200 on a Tuesday. I would say around about 70% of them these days are up to speed with Bitcoin. I present my card to them, and they just see the Bitcoin sign on the card. They say, "Oh, you're into Bitcoin." So I just leave that on my phone and just move around with different people. So I'd say probably 70% of those people know about Bitcoin. How much they know about the how to earn a passive income from it is my job.
Yeah, well, that's very, 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 very true, mate. I've noticed that as well. The not adoption, but the people knowing about Bitcoin or hearing the name has improved very, very dramatically. But if there's only 30 million or so Bitcoin accounts, that's where we need to encourage people just to open an account and put $20 in so they can say, yes, I own some Bitcoin. So as we'll just go to you, Bill, before you head off as the last, what can members do to not only promote Swiss Gold Global, but Bitcoin and the blockchain? When they're approaching people, people approach you all the time, I guess, wherever you go. But for us members, when we're speaking to people and they say, what do you do? I earn some part-time passive income with Bitcoin mining. Any tips for people mentioning basic facts that they should be getting out there?
Well, primarily, I'd say Claudia is the most experienced one to probably answer that because she is the leader and out there speaking with the public. But I think the most important thing is to listen to what the people want. And it's not, I mean, a lot of people will try, if you're an affiliate member in this industry, a lot of people want to sell someone into a package or different deals. They want to get a commission. But if you take the time to first build a relationship with the people and trust, and you get them intrigued. I know yourself, Keith, you'll ask people you want to pay with Bitcoin. You ask them, do you accept Bitcoin? And that starts a conversation point. Paul has his Bitcoin card. I mean, and then you base it on the conversation. I'm asking how you're involved with Bitcoin. Or you can say, I've got another source of revenue. I mean, it's different ways, but primarily because I don't actually work the market. I'm not actually a networker per se. I'm here to run the company. I think that probably Claudia and your leaders probably have a lot more experience than me. Let me just back up on the KYC because what Claudia spoke about there is really important. Now, KYC system was developed some years back to be compliant with the Swiss banking. And it's a little bit, there's many applications, there's many apps now available to make this process easier, and for people being able to have to print out a document and sign it and send it back, it is a bit of a pain. Most people don't have printers today, although being able to take a photograph with your phone, upload it and send it to us would actually be quite an easy way. So we're also in the process of reviewing the whole KYC as we speak right now, because I know this has actually has caused some issues. Then part of the document comes through where the signature doesn't appear to be correct, or some countries don't have signatures on their IDs. There's so many variables, but of course, there's only one standard. We have to stick by the Swiss and of course the UAE, United Arab Emirates standard for KYCs, which are very, very strict. And given that some countries don't have signatures on their photo IDs, makes it a bit tough too. So then they want to have utility bills. Oh, a lot of people rent. You go to people in Africa, of course, they don't have utility bills. So proof of address, it does become quite complex there. And if you're sharing accommodation with someone, maybe it's not even in your, it's not even, the bill's not even in your name. So this does cause some issues. But all this has been reviewed right now. I mean, if you look at the wallets, if you look at the banking KYC system, that's probably, these systems are very old, 20, 25 years old, some of the technology, of course, but we see when you look at the crypto wallets, which are new technologies, they're pretty advanced in their KYC process. And some of it's just like, you hold up your ID in front of your webcam when it works, and you take a photo of your face and your ID together. You'd send that through. That's a proof of your ID, of course, which is a good thing. You've got your own face and the picture and your ID. And then we'd have to try and do maybe an application where you could do an online digital signature. That would be a good way of doing it as well, possibly. Therefore, people wouldn't have to print out documentation, make it much more easier for people to be able to get in the system. But we know some companies don't do KYC, but we are not going to go that path. We have to have KYC if we want to be sustainable. Otherwise, the banks just shut you down. So that's really important. The other updates, I think that's probably the major updates that I've just touched on right now. But as we get closer and progressing, I'll be able to give you some more information. But there's some pretty major things being worked on right now, but I just can't sort of open up the box and share too much with you right now. Other than that, it's going to be fantastic for our members. We're going to be patient. We're working full steam developing this, but when it comes out, we think it's going to be absolutely, truly unique and very beneficial to our members.
All right, Bill. Appreciate your time as always, mate. Now you're in Monaco. Depends how the locals say it. What's your movements the next week? Where you be next Monday? So we'll maybe catch up with you again with a little bit more time, perhaps. Next
Monday I'll be in Dubai, but tomorrow I'll be driving back to Geneva for a meeting. Then I'll be heading back to Germany, and then I've got to head back to Dubai for this regulatory and banking stuff. So. Oh, good. All right, mate. Well, appreciate the time and effort you're putting in to jump on the call for us today. And it's great to hear from the CEO, the owner, the man who started the business 10 years ago. And everything is running smoothly, Bill. We've got lots of exciting things happening this year. And if you're in Australia, Bill and Claudia are planning to come in July. We're just getting our dates organised. So if you're in Melbourne, if you're in Sydney, and if you're in Brisbane, and maybe the Gold Coast, might be able to nip down there. If you're in those areas, you'll be able to meet the owner of the business, shake hands with Claudia and Bill, and talk to them face-to-face about the opportunities coming up for the rest of 2018 and for the next 10 years. So thank you, Bill. Actually, just on that point, Peter, that's good that you brought that up, actually. We'll confirm the dates over the next, probably over the next week, when I'm going to be in Australia, and obviously going to speak with Claudia about this as well. But then I suppose there's going to have to be a process. We have to organise it. People want to be able to meet up. I mean, we can't meet, some people here, some people there. We've got to have this organised and structured because we have limited time. So maybe we need to come up with a process where we come up with some cities and dates and people could show their interest in us. I don't know how we'll do that. I mean, there's multiple ways, of course, but we need to have a contact, maybe yourself and Claudia. Paul can be the contact base for that. You can put something up if you like, Keithy and Claudia on that if you want. Yeah, no, we'll get something organised, Bill. You just turn up, we'll get it all organised, mate. That's all good. There's hundreds of people want to meet you here in Australia. Now, you were here last year in August, so it's almost about 11 months, nearly a year since by the time you come back again. And our numbers in Australia have grown tremendously well since then. So there's a lot of brand new people who are very, very excited with Swiss Gold Global, who are earning part-time passive income, and they want to meet the owner. So there'll be lots of people to turn up to our meetings. So don't worry about that, mate. We'll handle that. But thanks. Appreciate your call, Bill, jumping on the call today. And we'll see you on the next one. We'll see if we can get you next week or the week after. Yeah, I'll be in Dubai next Monday. Okay, good on you, mate. All the best. All right, bye-bye. Thank you, Bill. Okay, fantastic. Great to have Bill, the owner, on. Now, if there's any questions, because it's just gone over about 35 minutes, folks. There's a lot of people watching here. So we've got a couple of really good questions from Robbie and Saeed. Is there any, g'day, Tomo, is there any, Two-Power, have you got any questions that Claudia is our #1 affiliate in the business? She's been #1, I guess, because you were the first person, you've been #1 for 10 years. So that's a great record, isn't it? It's, hey, I'm the #1 person in the company for 10 years. How long have you been there? 10 years. So
Actually, you know what? The funny thing is, I didn't join. I wasn't the first person they put in the papers to join in. It was actually, it were some Australians. I think it was even burned.
Oh, burnt down here in Australia. All right.
Yeah, I think it could be even burned, and it could be brine.
All right. Okay. Well, obviously, you've done well, you performed extremely well as far as building your business within Swiss Gold Global. And the one thing I always get from you is your enthusiasm, your never say die attitude. But the main thing is you just want to help people. You talk to people and they ask you questions and you help answer those questions. And people often say to me, oh, I don't know how to recruit, or I don't know this. But you'll go to a coffee place and you'll ask for a coffee. You'll go to a community centre, or you'll meet someone through friends for dinner or a barbecue or shopping. You'll bump into someone and you'll start a conversation. That in itself is explaining your business or talking to people about your business. It's just conversing with people and talking to people. So a few tips, Claudia, for new people. What do you normally, as Bill says, forming a relationship, do you ask specific questions like, hi, I've been in online business now for 10 years. Do you want to get involved, or have you tried online marketing or whatever? How do you talk to people specifically about, getting involved in the business with you?
So when they approach me or when I approach them?
Well, in general conversation, if you're talking to someone, do you ask certain questions, or do you let them ask you, what do you do, Claudia? And once you say, well, I make $1 million a year online, maybe not, I don't know. What sort of questions do they ask you that you can answer and get them excited about?
Well, I mean, every conversation is different a little bit, so that's why I can't really say this or that. And so I always like, let's say somebody maybe is hitting me up, is following me, and he's saying, and he wants to know more. And then I basically, well, let's say they send me a message, hey, I saw you on this hangout, or I have seen all this, or whatever. I followed you. Can you tell me more about Swiss Gold Global? Let's say they say that. And I said, well, sure. And I basically answer, sure. Great to meet you. What do you know so far? I would ask them, what do you know so far about Swiss Gold Global? So I find first out, what do they know about it? That's like in this situation. And then I may ask them, have you ever done some online business? Have you ever done some marketing online? And I find out where they are at in life. And I said, well, what we have is a pretty simple business. We have Bitcoin mining and we have gold and silver. So where basically you're going to get through the sharing of obviously of our concept, you're going to get paid on a daily basis Bitcoin, you accumulate Bitcoin. So depending on where the situation is, like if I approach somebody myself because maybe that person has liked the picture, or maybe that person has liked the comment on my wall, on my Instagram, or on something, whatever, and I like the profile. So I like the profile. I check the profile. I check them up. So maybe I start then liking their post, and I say, hey, really, really great, love that. So I look at their thing, what they do, and so little bit by little bit, they, we like each other's, and then maybe I hit them up and say, hey, I really like what you're doing. Would be great to to connect, to maybe to share some business ideas, and then I see if they connect, and let's say if I'm really doing sort of approaching from my side. And then I see if they want to connect, and if they send me a message back and they want to connect, I said, great. And then I just ask them about them, and so how has it been for them, or what are they doing? And so so basically I don't hit them up with my stuff, what I have. I just try to find some common ground and some engaging. So that's where most people do it wrong. And I tell you, I get everyday messages to me. They just say hi. I said, hi. So yeah, what?
Hi. Now, what do you do with that when you get a hi? Do you delete and block, or delete?
Block. Yeah.
Yes.
I don't even bother. I mean,
now, can I interrupt there? You said very interesting point, Instagram. Now, you obviously, a lot of people use Facebook, and a lot of people go into Facebook groups and put little posts up. But Instagram, I'm just starting to use Instagram and learning the ins and outs. So I'm very, very comfortable with it because our Swissquote Global team put together some fantastic images with our Instagram account, our Swissquote Global Instagram account. Can you give the first name? Is it one person does that, or is there a couple of people do that for us at Swissquote Global?
Yeah, we have a marketing agency which are doing this.
All right. They're doing a great job because some of their images, the gold and the Bitcoin together, you could just download those and then use them in your own posts with the company logo on them, which is just fantastic. It's really, really good. How do you find Instagram, Claudia?
Well, I like it very much, but not only Instagram, also Twitter. Remind you, we have also great Twitter images. So it's the same on Twitter. So I use both. I use Twitter, and I get constantly daily followers in Twitter, and they ask me. I got daily. I just posted yesterday a picture on Instagram. I had 187 likes so far. So with the dog, it was eating my shoes. So as you see here, he just loved to eat my shoes. So what can I say? He's a shoe fetish. And so I got all the time like, okay, I don't always use Swissquote Global. I sometimes repost them, not always, but again, like I keep it really generic. So I post my stuff, private stuff, this stuff, I mix it. Sometimes some great quotes. I mean, video works really fantastic on Instagram. If you post like a picture, a few people like it. But if you do a video, if you would broadcast your Hangouts or just a little bit of a thing of a big Bitcoin meeting in Instagram, boy, you're going to get followers.
Yeah, right. Okay. Well, that's so for everybody listening to promote the business generically with your own stuff. So you use Facebook, obviously, you use Instagram, and you use Twitter. Well, they're all free as in platforms. And obviously, you've got a YouTube channel, the Swissquote Global, where you post the your Hangouts that you do twice a week. So YouTube is free as well. So basically, your promotion, the way you promote the business, your business inside Swissquote Global, is using free social media outlets.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I use YouTube, I use all the other free social media outlets. And again, it's all about building your brand. It's not about Swissquote Global. It's about building your brand. People don't want to follow Swissquote Global. They want to follow you. So they watch you. They watch what you are up. So when I buy a product mostly and mainly because of a recommendation. I hate to watch ads. I don't like to go in a shop and being like, pushed by a salesperson. I just can't stand it. Honestly, I go out. But I do follow, of course, what other people say. So, I mean, in the terms of like, let's say they had a good experience with a product, they had a good experience with this. So this is the same here. And that's why network marketing, not work marketing, network marketing is basically, that's basically why this model is so great. So people, and that's why that's the whole thing is, when you look at a person who is successful, you look at a person who is not successful or who is constantly joining other businesses. You got to ask yourself the question, well, why is that? Why is that? And most of the time it is because they jump from this to another, and so their followers, they get confused. I mean, they just, well, didn't you just this? They just, it's just too much. They're like on a, on a Achterbahn, on those trains there in the park. So how do you call them?
Roller coaster, yeah.
Roller coaster.
Now, you also, I need to interrupt you again because all these ideas you're coming up with, Claudia, we've got to stop you so we can nail them down. You mentioned the title network marketing as opposed to multi-level marketing. So how would you describe Swissquote Global and the affiliate program? You describe it as a network marketing program or a multi-level marketing program?
Actually, it's the same, multi-level or network marketing. But the thing is, a lot of, and actually my great mentor and friend, Randy Gage, he is recently changing the whole phrase. So I should start also change the phrase, because so many people don't understand network marketing or multi-level marketing. They straight away think of pyramid, which of course it's not. In fact, some of the most wealthy people, I mean, some of them in Austria, there was last year a report in Austria, this little country, not Australia, Austria. There was last year a report that the top paid managers in the manager's scale of things or scheme of things, they actually are in network marketing. So, which is pretty amazing. But so in network marketing or multi-level marketing, so to come back to your question, that's really the same. But lots of company now, because of the bad name the industry has caused in terms of people don't really understand it. This is not a pyramid schemes, but there are lots of pyramid schemes out there which use the name of network marketing or multi-level marketing. So the trend has gone up to social retailing, social marketing. So when I approach, I use now more the terms of social retailing or social marketing.
There you go, Paul.
Yeah. And that's because just really why people, they just don't understand, they misunderstand. And if they get this word first, let's say in your first conversations, and they shut straight away, they shut you off. And so we don't want to have that happen for people. So if we say social marketing or social retailing, you know, that seems sort of different, interesting. Oh, so what is it about? You know, and you can just, it's just easier to get through to people.
All right, Paul. What do you think? What do you think? The terminology.
Well, I've always been into network marketing. MLM has always been multi-level marketing, as we know as such. People are a little bit hesitant to get into MLM these days because they see so many scams, I guess, out there, and they talk about this and they talk about that. Network marketing, everybody really is a network marketer. They just don't know it.
Yeah, that's as Claudia rightly said. It's the terminology is misunderstood by people. So I guess if we can come up with a good phrase that people can use when they're talking to people, so that they understand it is something different. It's the same thing, but it's something different, if you know what I mean. So social retailing or social marketing, because everybody relates to social media. Everyone understands that terminology. And if I go to Facebook now, if I go to a Facebook page and I just click on the home page, on my home page on Facebook, then immediately what pops up is the feed. Then there's adverts, trending, sponsored adverts, singles on Facebook. I don't need singles. Free events here. All these types of adverts are popping up on this is social media marketing. So we can just use that term, social marketing. So if you're looking to speak to people, say, listen, I'm involved in social marketing now. Oh, what's social marketing about? There you go. There's a new ad, a new lead in. Cloudy, you've done us proud again with a new terminology. Listen, it's 50 minutes. We try and keep it nice and short. We can't seem to do that on these calls. We keep talking and talking and talking nonstop. Now, have you got any more clear indication when you likely to what you'd like to do when you come to Australia? If you and Bill come down in July, did you want to have one meeting in Melbourne, one meeting in Sydney, and one meeting in Brisbane, or did you want to do the Gold Coast as well? Just so we can get the ball rolling when people listening to get an idea of where you'll be attending. Where will you be?
Sure, I want to visit or see as many people as possible, obviously. So definitely. No, I mean, we of course, like we did the last time where you organized a great meeting there, it was really, really wonderful. We should do the same thing. Yeah,
the same thing. One on the Gold Coast, one in Brisbane. But now we're gonna make it a bit more exciting. I mean, you're going to Melbourne, so we'll get a great meeting down in Melbourne. And Sydney as well. There's a lot of people in Sydney. There's heaps of people in Sydney who really want to connect with you guys. So, and Sydney is like a hub for the outlying areas as well. It's only an hour or so for people to travel. Same as Melbourne and same as Brisbane. People came down from the Sunshine Coast for that meeting in Brisbane. So, yeah, really looking forward to catching up with you and Bill again in July. So that's going to go in a flash. It's 28th of May now, a couple of days, and we're into June and then July. So it's only 6 odd weeks away. So we really got to get our act together down here in Australia and get something organised for venues-wise and get as many people promoting and telling people about that. Because a lot of new people, like you say, and here's the new concept, social marketing. There you go, folks. You've heard it first on Swiss Gold Global. Well done, Claudia. Social marketing with our company, Swiss Gold Global, 10-year-old company. That's all people need to know. Listen, I'm involved with a 10-year-old company, gold, silver, cryptocurrency mining, and we're doing social marketing. Wow. And we're excited. And the owners are the #1 affiliates coming down to Australia. You've got to come along. Bing, there's your answer. All right. Would you like to add anything to finish off, Claudia? Anything you want to tell people just to finish off?
Well, as I was saying in the beginning, like if you really focus, so you've got to build your brand. It's all building your brand. So why do people want to follow you? Why want do people get engaged with you? Because they like you, they trust you, and so on. That's why, you know, and so this is what people need to realize when they start, of course, the marketing. They should be, of course, well, first of all, it's easy. They shouldn't overcomplicate it. They shouldn't think it takes so much work or whatsoever. Just keep it easy, keep it simple, and just do things on a daily basis. Just post a positive quote about Bitcoin, something new they learned. I know a guy actually from Germany. He started his coaching business, different one, but he started a coaching business. I coached him, I mentored him, and he has become, in fact, 2 months ago, he has become the Germany's most youngest entrepreneur and best speaker in Germany. Germany, we have 84 million. So I coached him, I trained him. What did he do? He started doing videos on a daily basis on Facebook. So he learned something from Think and Grow Rich, let's say, and he posted it. He learned something about business. He learned something, and he said he made it on Facebook. So this is, similar with us. So many people don't know Bitcoin, have no idea. They don't understand finances, don't understand gold. So just start, doing some, even if it is not so good, it doesn't matter. See, the thing is, people like when you do something new or something, or you keep them consistently on that. Like Keith is doing consistency for his hangouts. He's consistent with that. That's why people follow him. Would Keith, of course, do like each and every week something else? Probably not. So, and this is, I think, this is what had gotten me to success, that I have not changed anything. I have changed in terms of a person. I've changed in terms of approaches. I've changed in terms of, I think, quality, but I have not changed in terms of being consistent with Swiss Gold Global, that I would market through social marketing the products and services. And so that's some of the tips I would like to give to people, that stay consistent and just basically start things like that. You can do a video on YouTube, on Instagram. Hey, I'm just with Kitty at this Bitcoin meeting there. You know what? I don't know much yet about Bitcoin, but I'm learning, and this guy is really teaching me. That's it.
Very easy. You've got a recording suite right in your hand here for making movies. It's incredible what you can do with this piece of plastic here, which you can, if you don't have much money, you can buy these for $100 secondhand. And just stick them in front of your face, like our young Colombian friend Nikolai. I gave him a 6-day challenge before he went to Colombia, and every day he posted something, and he did a bit in Spanish as well as a bit in English. Just all you need to do. All right, Paul. Thank you, Claudia. Thank you very much for coming on again, as you always do. Paul, to finish off, tips and tricks for your people, how should they go about talking to their friends from your angle? What do you tell them to do?
Oh, what, in relationship to social media?
Yeah, if they're not too much into Facebook or Instagram or YouTube videos, what do you tell them to do?
Oh, basically just get out and talk to people. talk to their friends mainly, because they've got a lot of friends and they're in community areas, over 55 areas. So when they're all sitting around having a cup of coffee in their mornings, just have a talk about Swiss Gold Global, have a talk about Bitcoin, and then just get me involved, and then we can set up a seminar, and we can do some Skype calling and that type of thing. So they're all into their Skype because they talk to their families. So that's the area of our social media that we talk about. That's
very good. And also showing people these cards as well, the old cryptocurrency cards, is a good way of creating a conversation about. I say I'll just pay with that Bitcoin. People have heard about Bitcoin. They don't even realise that these cards have been around for a couple of years in Australia, and people have been using the cards to convert Bitcoin to local currency and pay for goods and services. They just have no idea. And they go, wow. And then they want to know more. So there's huge potential to talk to everybody about Swiss Gold Global, social marketing. Thank you, Claudia, for that one again. And it's number 40, done and dusted. Thank you, folks, for watching, and some great questions we had. Bill jumped on, which is great. Great to have the owner of the company, and lots of exciting things happening. But as Bill said, planning strategically, one thing after the other, crossing the I's, dotting the T's. And then let's get organised for Australia, for Bill and Claudia when they come out in July. Melbourne, Sydney, Brisbane, Gold Coast. Make sure if you're in that area, you message me today or tomorrow and say, listen, I'm keen. I've got 4 or 5 people who want to come along. So message me, folks, or tell people in Australia to message Keithy Broome and say, listen, we've got 3 people or 4 people or 6 people who want to come along to the meeting, and then I'll get the dates organised, and we'll organise the venue, and we'll get hundreds along. That'll be the plan. That'll be the plan, all right? So thank you, Claudia. Thank you, Paul. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Hangout number 40 over and done, and we'll see you on number 41 next week. Take it easy, folks. Have a very positive, happy week. Go Bitcoin. Up, up, up. All right. See you, folks. Bye-bye.